Talking about.
Partnerships.
We're
I wanna
talking
talk about
about
partnerships.
we're talking about working together in partnerships.
Yeah.
When you're in a relationship, most people don't know how to work together,
Right.
or find it difficult on working together. And I think in our experience, we're starting to hit a little stride. But how do you do that? How do you work together when your partner has different ideas for what they may want to do, right? But how do you put your ideas together to work for the both of you?
Right. That's actually good. Even though when you come into a partnership, you should have a vision. But sometimes, it's trying to, sometimes you have to adjust the vision, right?
Yeah.
To make it work for the two of you. And with a partnership, it's like you have to be able to have effective communication. You have to be able to trust one another to a certain degree, because you don't want to just get into a partnership with someone that you don't trust. So the beautiful thing is we are in our 5th year of marriage now. And it has taken a lot of trial and error or mistakes. But I like to, channel our mistakes by saying opportunities for us to get better. And I think, in the beginning of our partnership of becoming one, it was one of them things where we just gonna figure it out. And I think the beautiful thing about partnership is we're still saying that. There has always been a grace on our marriage. 5 grace. Wow. Okay. Thank you, God. But there's always been this grace on our marriage where we figured it out without.
We're figuring it out.
We're still figuring it. I think in partnership, you're going to always be figuring it out, right?
I mean, you should be, because you're constantly growing and evolving. So unless you're stuck in one spot, you would never have anything to figure out. So if you're constantly growing, you're going to always have to figure out a new stride for that particular season or level that you're in. But I think more importantly, when it comes to working together in business, specifically, because it's one thing to work together in your home, which you should do. It's a whole another conversation when you're working together as business partners, because you got to think, I'm around this person at home. I'm around this person when we spend time together. I sleep with this person, and now I'm with them even when we're working. That can be a lot to some people.
But isn't your home your first business, your first ministry? So if you can work effectively in your home, then you're actually increasing your capacity to have partnerships outside of your home.
I get that, but some would argue, where's the balance? Where is the time where you need to say, okay, I need some me time, or I need some, that's what I'm saying. So that's why I said some people can figure it out and they can work together, and some people it's overkill for them. So where do you find the balance?
Outside with your friends. I don't know.
Oh my goodness. I mean, yeah, yes.
I don't know. I mean, where do you find the balance? You have to find that balance within yourself, because I truly believe that your marriage, your home, that's your first ministry. And like I said, if you can work and cooperate in that, then I think you can do anything outside, because marriage is a mirror. So it's constantly changing you. It's constantly making you. It's making you work. You're constantly working on yourself to effectively communicate effectively with the people outside your home.
Yeah.
I know, if I'm being honest, our marriage is a constant it's a constant, like I'm constantly being challenged to be better, to be greater. Like you challenge me all the time in my communication, the way I talk to people, the way I just engage with people. And it's based off of what you see in a home, but also what you see out there. So if I didn't have you, I would only be operating within my own conditions that I know, right? So
All of us.
all of us. But I feel when you have a close-knit partner, someone who is living in the home with you, someone who can constantly see those things that need to be transformed, see like with a marriage, is the beautiful thing is that person can see into you. There is no real mask that you can put on when you're married, because marriage is a mirror.
No, I agree. I mean, I think you have your intimate partners and you're going beyond the bedroom. But I think you have to, you have to, like you said, establish what your marriage is going to be. I think it's great if the two can work together all the time. If you can do it, there's a grace for that. But it's not necessary, in my opinion. I
don't think it's necessary.
you have to find what works for your relationship, and you have to be mature enough to accept that, you know what, we work together great in this area, but in this area, I'm gonna let him do his thing, or I'm gonna let her do her thing, and be okay with that. Not take it personal and say, well, why can't you work with me in the business? Look, we don't think the same when it comes to business, and that's okay. You have to do what works well for your home, for your marriage, so that the marriage part, that sanctity is still peaceful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because working in business can destroy relationships in the home.
Absolutely.
So that's why I say, is it important? Is it necessary?
I think when you enter into a marriage, you enter into agreement, and you guys start to build legacy together. Like, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. So when God blesses you with a wife, she's able to pull substance out of you. She's able to help you build the things that you couldn't do on your own, and vice versa. So I do feel like it should be something you should build, because you have to have a business plan for your marriage. What is the vision? What is the mission for your marriage?
That's the marriage.
Right. What do you guys want to build together? Are y'all just, okay. So I guess what I'm saying is, let's take us, for example. Let's talk about our personal experience, right? We're both actors, and when we met each other, we were both actors, but that wasn't the end for us. It was like, okay, I want to do this, you want to do this. Okay, how do we come together to effectively carry out this mission that God has given us, to carry out this vision that God has given us? So we have to work together. We have to collab. Now, you do have some people who are just 9-to-5ers, right? And they just go to their regular job as a banker, or and some people don't have the ambition. This is no shade to anybody. Some people don't have the desire to do anything extra outside of the regular 9-to-5. So they probably wouldn't enter into a partnership outside of the home, but in the home, there's still a partnership.